Good evening and welcome to the Seth Joyner Show. The Philadelphia Eagles are 4-0, and that's a big deal, and we should all be excited. But, Philly, you know there's always a but when it comes to our teams. Let's talk about today, potential and expectations. To kick off today's show, it's time for my breakdown. Potential and expectation can be a dangerous yet necessary component in all sports. Teams draft, sign, and pay players based upon their potential talent and expected production. Not all potential is realized, though. We look at the potential of this 2023 Eagles team, and it has shaped the expectations of the fans and the media alike. Players need to embody the expectations of winning and playing well, or it's impossible for them to produce, succeed, and win. That being said, we expect this team to win, and yet we are waiting to see them play up to their full potential. The thing to remember is that other teams, their opponents, possess great coaches and players also. So there's this opposition to the Eagles' talent as well as our expectations of their success. The Birds are one of the two remaining undefeated teams in the National Football League. And this team are 21-1 over the last 22 regular season games. How can we expect them to be much better than that? We do. I'm as big on how you win as if you win because it oftentimes speaks to future performance. But the end game is always just win at all costs. Jalen had his best passing game of the year versus the Commanders. 25 for 37, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 112 rating. I was perplexed to see that the game plan was to pass the ball versus Washington after the past 2 weeks' success of running the ball 40-plus times for back-to-back 200-yard games. It's clear that Sirianni and Johnson believed that they could take a step to heal the ailing passing game versus the Commanders' secondary. A.J. Brown, for the second straight week, had a massive day. Again, of the 37 pass attempts, 14 were targeted to Brown, who took rookie cornerback Emmanuel Forbes to school, tallying 9 catches for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, this was a head-scratcher. After the Buffalo Bills sacked Sam Howell 9 times and picked him off 4 times the previous week, the Eagles defense made Howell look like a Pro Bowl quarterback. The Birds pressured him all day long, but it was clear that the Commanders' game plan was to get the ball out quick. Sean Desai dialed up the pressures all day, and Nicholas Morrow had a day blitzing. He had 3 of the Eagles' 5 total sacks. Between Sweat, Reddick, Graham, Carter, and Cox, they produced 32 pressures on Sam Howell. So it's hard to fault the pass rush. The pass rush and the coverage has to work in conjunction with each other. It's my opinion that the cornerbacks, Slay and Bradbury, have to be more aggressive at the line of scrimmage and in coverage, especially in blitz coverage. Desai cannot send 5 or 6 and have the cornerbacks play 7 to 10 yards off the ball. That's an easy side adjustment even for the most inexperienced quarterback. In my opinion, if the cornerbacks play more aggressively in pressure and blitz situations, sacks, interceptions, forced fumbles, and third down conversions will improve in a big way for this defense. The special teams seems to be improving each and every week. The coverage teams are less of a liability, and Britton Colby is averaging 12.7 yards per punt return, and Jake Elliott remains money, hitting on field goals of 41, 47, 36, and the game-winner in overtime 54-yarder. Coming up, the voice of the Eagles football on WIP, Merl Reese, will help me preview the upcoming Eagles versus Rams game out on the West Coast this Sunday.
When you open the BetParks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moments. It's the anticipation of another face card, the thrill of an extra spin, and the pure joy of a jackpot. It's all your favorite games at your fingertips. Plus, get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. You play for fun, you love to win. You bet. BetParks.
This is Seth Joyner, top analyst for the Birds. I've also analyzed the best auto dealerships, and I drive a Davis Honda.
Fall into savings at Davis Honda. Over 300 cars available. And right now, get rates as low as 0.9% at Davis Honda in Burlington. Plus, you'll get 2 years of free oil changes on every new and used Davis Honda vehicle. See why Davis Honda continues to win outstanding awards for sales and service, including the highest award from Honda, the President's Award. Get to Davis Honda in Burlington.
Fall into savings at Davis Honda.
Welcome to Bridgeview Partners, where IT and business innovation merge. We're not just another tech company. We're your strategic partner in navigating the ever-evolving digital landscape. Our team of experts tailors cutting-edge solutions to fit your unique needs, and ensuring your success is our top priority. Elevate your business with Bridgeview Partners. Discover the power of partnership and tech innovation today. Contact us now to experience the difference. Bridgeview Partners, where innovation meets excellence.
If you understand that success is built on trusted relationships and dependable performance, MidPenn Bank is the right bank for you. We're on a mission to prove that the right bankers can make a big difference. We work harder, we get things done, and we're in your corner. With financial centers strategically located throughout the greater Philadelphia region and new locations in central New Jersey, we're ready to bring you the best in commercial and personal banking. Call or visit us today to connect with a professional MidPenn banker. Member FDIC. Go Eagles!
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
This segment is brought to you by Davis Honda of Burlington. Welcome back. The incomparable, unmistakable voice of the Philadelphia Eagles for the last 46 years, my good friend Merl Reese is in studio with me today. Merl, how are you recovering from Sunday's game?
What an ending. It's everything you want. It goes down to overtime, and then you have that kind of conclusion. Seth, it was a joy, and I have recovered. And it's 47 years.
I stand
but
corrected.
who's counting?
So, Merl, listen, you've had a front row seat to watch the birds fly each and every Sunday. Are you at all concerned, long-term, about where this team is headed in 2023?
No. I think they're a pretty complete team. They need some guys to get healthy. I think when Sidney Brown comes back, I think he's going to move in at some point to the safety position and be the other safety because Blankenship is doing well. But I'm not concerned. And Mike and I talk about this all the time. And I know what your training camps were like. I mean, I used to sit there and just feel for you guys in 100-degree heat, hitting twice a day with Buddy. Training camps today, as you know, are basically no contact. And the preseason games do not feature the regulars. They don't play a snap. Right. So we think of the September games basically as kind of what the preseason games used to be. And they're still getting into shape, and they're still rusty.
Right.
So now they're just coming out of it. I think the offense is close to being back.
Okay, Merl, so Sunday turned into a barn burner. And I said before the game started, these NFC East games, they're so unpredictable, you just never know what you're going to get. What caused, in your opinion, such a close game, especially against a team that we thought was going to be a walkover? Sam Howell was sacked 9 times the previous week and threw 4 interceptions.
You know, it's tough to tell. I mean, what you're talking about, the division thing, over the years, it's amazing. They've played 179 times now. And there's like Washington's 3 wins up, and 6 of those games have been ties. So the series that began in 1934 is still going on with the same kind of competitiveness. It's amazing.
Wow.
And these division games are heightened in intensity. And to Washington's credit, they were very, very prepared. I felt that this was a game that the Eagles were going to run away with. I thought Sam Howell should be hiding in his room facing Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis.
Right.
And yet that never happened.
No doubt about it. And now they head to LA, and despite a 2,396-mile flight and a 3-hour time difference and a veteran quarterback and Matthew Stafford, the possible return of Cooper Kupp. What's the keys to victories for the Eagles out west on Sunday?
Well, I think one thing they cannot get behind. They've got to really start quickly against the Rams. And number two, I think they have really got to get to Matthew Stafford. He's not a particularly mobile quarterback. He's got a great arm, still has a great arm, and can pick you apart, but not if he's looking up at the sky. And they have to get to him. It's so interesting. Here's a team that 2 years ago, the Rams won the Super Bowl, and I've been preparing for this game, and I look, and I'd say 3/4 of this roster are unfamiliar players. I mean, the big guy they have to watch out for is 99, and he's amazing.
Still is amazing. So the Eagles ranked 27th versus the pass on the defensive side of the ball. Over the first 4 games of the season. We know that McVay and Stafford like to air it out. They're throwing it 41 times a game, to your point earlier, and they're averaging over 300 yards per game as well. How does Sean Desai help this defense correct what's going on in the passing game?
I think they play Seth Joyner ball, and that means an aggressive defense with a share of selective blitzing, and I think the corners have to play a little tighter than they did. You cannot give their receivers, no matter who they are, a lot of cushion. And they have a good tight end too, and he figures into it. He burned the Eagles before when they came to the link a few years ago, and that's Tyler Higbee, number 89. Pretty good tight end.
So, Merle, oftentimes, when quarterbacks get hurt, we have these quarterback controversies. Josh Morrow and Nicholas Zach Cunningham, have played extremely well. Do we have a linebacker controversy when Nakobe Dean comes back?
I don't think so. Nakobe Dean has been slotted for that middle linebacker, inside linebacker role, and I think he's a very, very bright, talented young guy, and they want to get him going. As soon as he's ready, he'll be there. But it's nice when you have people like Nick Morrow and Zach Cunningham performing the way they have. They've been impact players.
No doubt about it. And lastly, everyone expects or is expecting this perfect game at some point, from this team. Last year's success has bred high expectations for this team, Merle. Are those expectations sometimes too high? Should we all just sit back and enjoy the run, or are there reservations in your mind considering the toughest part of the schedule is yet to come?
The interesting thing, Seth, is you talk to a lot of people and they're starting to think, well, last year they were great. I mean, they were great. They went to the Super Bowl. This year's team has not shown that greatness yet. Now, people forget. Go back to last year. They just got by Detroit in the opener. Mm-hmm. They had a game against Washington where Washington beat them. Well, they were 8-0 when the Commanders beat them.
Right.
They just got by Arizona. Arizona was terrible, and the Eagles needed someone named Dicker the Kicker to pull that thing out. They played Houston, and I like to say Houston. In Houston, they had a problem. They had a problem beating terrible Houston. You just went through that schedule, and one team after, they fought and scrambled. Indianapolis, and Indianapolis was terrible. They fired Frank Reich in mid-season, and the Eagles just beat them by 1 point. 1 point in Indy. So last year was not a walk in the park. Last year, there were a lot of struggles, but they gained momentum, and the Bears game was tough, and they lost Jalen Hurts in that game. So if you look at that, it's not that different. And I think as this team goes through the season, even though the schedule gets tougher, they will be more prepared, and they will be in a higher gear.
Sounds like parody to me. My friend, listen, it is always an honor and a privilege to talk to Birds with you, Merle. Enjoy the call this week. All righty?
You bet.
All righty. Coming up, my resident betting and fantasy expert, Brad Feinberg, is here for our weekly betting chat.
When you open the BetParks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moments. It's the energy of being all in, the passion of a perfect parlay, and the pure joy of a jackpot. It's another opportunity to win big every day of the week. Sign up for BetParks and get a welcome offer today. You play for fun, you love to win. You bet. BetParx.
This is Seth Joyner, top analyst for the Birds. I've also analyzed the best auto dealerships, and I drive a Davis Honda.
Fall into savings at Davis Honda. Over 300 cars available. And right now, get rates as low as 0.9% at Davis Honda in Burlington. Plus, you'll get 2 years of free oil changes on every new and used Davis Honda vehicle. See why Davis Honda continues to win outstanding awards for sales and service, including the highest award from Honda, the President's Award. Get to Davis Honda in Burlington.
Fall into savings at Davis Honda.
Welcome to Bridgeview Partners, where IT and business innovation merge. We're not just another tech company. We're your strategic partner in navigating the ever-evolving digital landscape. Our team of experts tailors cutting-edge solutions to fit your unique needs, and ensuring your success is our top priority. Elevate your business with Bridgeview Partners. Discover the power of partnership and tech innovation today. Contact us now to experience the difference. Bridgeview Partners, where innovation meets excellence.
JP Mascaro & Sons is a family-owned, locally operated solid waste service company in business for over 60 years. You've seen the red trucks with the blue elephant that symbolizes strength and reliability. Mascaro is different than other national brands. Like the Birds, Philadelphia is home. They'll take care of all your waste removal needs. They have it all: an experienced workforce, state-of-the-art equipment, a cutting-edge recycling center, and their own disposal facilities. Call 888-MASCARO or visit jpmascaro.com.
At Mandrecchia Law, we win big personal injury cases, but we always tell our clients up front that those cases almost always hinge on how much insurance coverage people or companies have. At Mandrecchia Law, we don't sell insurance, but we're experts at helping our clients make sure they have the right insurance to protect their businesses and families. Do you have the right insurance? Most people don't. For a consultation, visit mmattorneys.com or call 610-584-0700. Mandrecchia Law, aggressive attorneys who get the job done.
This segment is brought to you by BetParx. Welcome back. As the Birds fly out west and roll into Week 5, Brad Feinberg is here for some fantasy betting guidance. Brad, how are you doing today, my friend?
How are you, Seth?
All right.
I'm doing great, my friend. Looking forward to a great weekend and hopefully some good bets and some good fantasy advice.
All right, so let's switch it up this week, I should say, excuse me, and let's talk about the bets first. So who do you like in Week 5 from a betting perspective?
Seth, I'm going to start out with the Falcons pick 'em against the Texans. Now, I understand last week Falcons, absolutely horrible performance, and they had 2 straight bad performances, but they're at home this week against a Texan team that, again, C.J. Stroud's been dynamite, Seth, but are we really sure that they should be pick 'em on the road against a decent team? I'm still not quite there yet. Plus, the Texans have some injuries. Give me the Falcons pick 'em. I think they get healthy and win this game. Next, Seth, hate to do this to all these Eagle fans, but I'm going to take the Rams getting 4.5 points against the Eagles. I think Matthew Stafford looks great. The Rams were a team I was very negative on before the year, but I always say in sports, when you're sports betting, would you rather be consistent? Would you rather be right? I'd rather be right. I've changed my opinion on this Rams team. I think they're flat out decent. Laying 4.5 points on the road, I think it's a little bit too high. I think this line should be closer to a field goal. I think the Eagles still seem just a little bit offset. Give me the Rams plus 4.5. Next, Seth, I'm going to take the Cowboys. This line right now, as we tape, is 3.5. I expect it to go to 4.5, though, and I'm going to wait on this. So I think you're going to be able to get a 4.5 come kickoff time. I think they're better than San Francisco. They lost last year. They outplayed the 49ers in that game. But because Prescott was just brutal in big spots, they lost a tight game. I say Prescott gets the revenge. I say Dallas wins this one outright, Seth. Love Dallas this week. And last, Seth, I'm going to take the Vikings getting 5.5 points against the Chiefs. Chiefs, to me, Seth, just still not that same dynamic offense that we've seen in the past. I think the Vikings can keep this one close. I think the Chiefs will probably win the game. I think it's going to be tight. Give me the Vikings getting 5.5.
All right, Brad, so which players on defense are you avoiding this week on the fantasy front?
Okay, well, some overrated guys, Seth, to me, and it's funny, my favorite player in the NFL is Joe Burrow. Love him. Think he's a terrific player. But, Seth, he's being priced as an elite guy right now. And if you've watched him play, which I'm sure you have, that calf injury is really bothering him. I have no interest in paying up for Joe Burrow this week until he shows me he's healthy. Running back-wise, look, Kieran Williams Seth, this is crazy. This guy is the second highest priced running back in fantasy this week. Second highest on the entire board. Look, I get that he's getting all the workload he can handle, and I like him, but I'm not willing to put him as the second best player against a pretty respectable run defense in Philadelphia, passing on Kieran Williams. Receiver, Jerry Jeudy. being priced in the top 10. I say why? I don't get it. I don't think that this Denver team is very good at all. I think he's a very average receiver with a very average to below average quarterback right now, and Russell Wilson throwing him. Certainly not a top 10 guy to me. Fading Jerry Jeudy. And defensively set to me, the Bengals, they're being priced as the third most expensive defense. You talk about adjusting on the fly, Seth. Arizona is a team to me that I've raised my power rankings on quite a bit. I had them as potentially a historically bad team. That hasn't been the case. Dobbs has been good. And this Arizona team's been very decent on offense. I don't think the Bengals are worth a top 3 pick this week. I'm fading them.
And lastly, Brad, who are you banking on in this unpredictable world of fantasy football in week 5?
Well, Seth, look, quarterback-wise, Matthew Stafford. He's looked like he's looked like Seth. He's looked like Matthew Stafford of old. I thought maybe the injuries caught up to him. Not at all to me. He looks great to me. He's being priced as one of the cheapest quarterbacks all fantasy this week, Seth. And a game where it's the highest over-under, I think Stafford has a big game. Running back, James Conner. We talked about Arizona being underrated. Conner's been the bell cow of this team, going against a very mediocre Cincinnati team in a game where game script should not hurt them. Last week, a good game going. Game script, they fell behind against the 49ers, had to pass a lot, kind of took them out of it. But in a game like this, where they're only a 3-point dog, I say Conner has a big game. Wide receiver, Seth, another veteran, Adam Thielen. This guy's just playing great. Look, three last games, he has 25 receptions for almost 300 yards. I wish Andy Dalton was playing. I think he looks better with Dalton, but he's still being priced as one of the cheaper receivers with getting huge volume like Adam Thielen. And finally, Seth, defensively, Tennessee Titans. I don't get this one. Third cheapest defense against a very, very mediocre Indianapolis offense. I don't like paying up for defenses. You don't have to with the Titans being the third cheapest.
Brad, great stuff as always, man. Thanks. I'll see you next week.
You're the best. Thank you so much, Seth. Good luck to everyone out there.
You got it, man. Up next, my closing thoughts and predictions for Sunday's conference matchup, your Philadelphia Eagles versus the 2-2 Los Angeles Rams.
JP Mascaro & Sons is a family-owned, locally operated solid waste service company in business for over 60 years. You've seen the red trucks with the blue elephant that symbolizes strength and reliability. Mascaro is different than other national brands. Like the birds, Philadelphia is home. They'll take care of all your waste removal needs. They have it all: an experienced workforce, state-of-the-art equipment, a cutting-edge recycling center, and their own disposal facilities. Call 888-MASCARO or visit jpmascaro.com.
At Mandrecchia Law, we win big personal injury cases, but we always tell our clients up front that those cases almost always hinge on how much insurance coverage people or companies have. At Mandrecchia Law, we don't sell insurance, but we're experts at helping our clients make sure they have the right insurance to protect their businesses and families. Do you have the right insurance? Most people don't. For a consultation, visit mmattorneys.com or call 610-584-0700. Mandrecchia Law, aggressive attorneys who get the job done. At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at revxwealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
If you understand that success is built on trusted relationships and dependable performance, MidPenn Bank is the right bank for you. We're on a mission to prove that the right bankers can make a big difference. We work harder, we get things done, and we're in your corner. With financial centers strategically located throughout the greater Philadelphia region and new locations in central New Jersey, we're ready to bring you the best in commercial and personal banking. Call or visit us today to connect with a professional MidPenn banker. Member FDIC. Go Eagles!
When you open the BetParks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moments. It's the confidence and underdogs covering, the tension before a clutch turnover, and the pride of a parlay paying off. It's another chance to win big with all-day action. Plus, win your first $10 bet and get $125 in sports bonus bets. You play for fun, you love to win. You bet. BetParks.
This segment is brought to you by Bridgeview Partners. Welcome back. This Eagles team is loaded with talent everywhere you look, and they're undefeated after the first quarter of the NFL season. That's an accomplishment in itself. Because of last year's success and near Super Bowl win, the expectation is that this team should get back to the dance again. I know that the Eagles fans and media want to see a decisive, dominant Birds win in all three phases. The truth is, if you look back at last year, they didn't really produce such a game into the playoffs versus the Giants and then the 49ers in the NFC Championship. What the Birds are doing and have done is learn how to win games without their A game. What we as fans and media fail to do often is give their opponents and coaching staffs enough credit for preventing them from performing at their highest level. Football is such an imperfect game with so many moving parts. If you can play a game at 75% efficiency, you've probably played a heck of a football game. For those who have longed for the passing game to awake out of hibernation, congrats after last week. I know that I'm in the minority, but I prefer to see them dominate via the run in order to get the explosive plays in the passing game. That's not in vogue in today's analytics-driven NFL. But anytime the offense finds itself stagnant or in a bind, they always revert back to what they do best, and that's run the football in order to find some flow. Swift is such a dynamic runner and a weapon in the open field in the pass game. I wonder at times why it is that he disappears from the field and the offense. I also know that there's one ball to go around for everyone. But how in the world is Dallas Goedert such an afterthought in this offense? Defensively, for the most part, I'm encouraged by what they've produced. The linebacker question has been answered. Many think I'm crazy for suggesting it, but do you just slide Nakobe Dean right back in as the starter when healthy? Or do you roll with the hot hand if Cunningham and Morrow are still productive? The D-line continues to play well. Fletcher Cox was dominant last week and seemed to have found the fountain of youth. And the young guns continue to impress. Reddick and Sweat turned up the heat last week to complement the inside push. And the young kids in the secondary are gaining valuable experience and have held up better than expected. If the starting quarterbacks play a little more aggressively at the line of scrimmage just 40% more of the time, this defense, in my opinion, could be elite across the board. As the special teams transitions from average to special, I see them becoming more and more of a factor in games moving forward. The Rams, are formidable but less dominant teams than they have been in recent years. Aaron Donald is still a concern. Stafford can still make all the throws. They have a new wide receiver in Puka Nacua, who leads the NFL in catches. They may be getting Cooper Kupp back this week as well, and a young rookie running back, Kyron Williams from Notre Dame, who rushed for over 100 yards last week and 2 touchdowns. But I still see the Eagles as one of, if not the best team in the NFC. That being said, they're averaging 29 points per game offensively. I'm picking the Eagles to keep rolling and move to 5-0, 28-21. That's the show for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to looking back on the Rams game with you next week and ahead to the trip up the Turnpike to take on the New York Jets. Have a good night, Philadelphia.